All right, all right. Where's the gold, everybody? Where is the gold? I don't know. The Doge team is going to go in and look for the gold at Fort Knox. Is it there? Is it not there? There's been a lot of rumors thrown around Fort Knox for a long time. If you don't know, Fort Knox is in Kentucky, and that's where we store all the gold. But some are saying it's not there, but we'll dive into it. We got a little video we can play to dive into. There's a lot of mysteries around it. I think nobody's been in it for a long time. I think there was a video back in the day where they went in and showed like the gold bars, but that was many moons ago. Because you know the United States government don't like people to know stuff. You know what I'm saying? They just want you, whatever they say, they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? But also the Democrats are out here just constantly losing. Their ratings are in the tank. Shows, well, not like this, because my algorithm, you know, I talk too much. I talk about the Mossad. I talk about all the agencies. I wish I could get in Lex Friedman's algorithm. If I could get in his algorithm, we would blow up. But we need that like, and we need that subscribe button. And we're definitely going to get into some crazy stuff. Donald Trump he's tearing these Democrats apart. They don't know what to do. Elon Musk, they hate Elon Musk. Elon and Trump just had an interview with Hannity. That's an okay interview. You can go in and watch it. But the Democrats, they're just losing their mind. You know what I'm saying? That U.S. aid, we're finding there's just all types of corruption there. They just found out, too, that Stacey Abrams, remember her? She ran for governor of Georgia, but loused. And then she said she got cheated. I'm telling you, there's been so much fraud and cheating going on. I don't know how, hundreds of years. And the propaganda won't stop. They're not going to stop the propaganda. They're going to keep it up. And even Trump's trying to help. But I don't even know if he'll be able to get it all. But if we can clean up this mess, I'll be curious when March comes. Because in March is when the new budget comes up. Are they going to put U.S. aid in the budget? We're finding out Social Security. There's people that Social Security, right? You know, you retire. They always been telling us Social Security's going dry. It's going to go bankrupt. You know why it's going to go bankrupt? Because there's people that are 200 years old that are collecting Social Security. There are people that are 150 years old collecting Social Security. Millions of people. Millions of fraud on the Social Security. I think it's like $75 billion. We need our money back. They're talking about STEMIs out there. I see the STEMIs are out there. We're going to get $8,000 back for all this money that Elon and the DOGE team is finding. I don't know. Maybe Trump will do it. He wants to get rid of the federal income tax. Tell him to just get rid of the IRS. We don't need none of this nonsense. We're taxed out the yin-yangs. They got these tariffs. All these countries that sell into other places should make our products cheaper, but they don't. They hose us. You see, when you look at our cereal boxes and our food products, it's just covered in just trash, pure trash. They want to talk about measles outbreak. What about the kids, bro? There's so many obese kids out there now. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But they don't talk about that as an epidemic because they want to push the vaccines because they know every baby that's born, they get to pump the vaccine in it and they get some money. You know, that's their main goal. And they want to keep you unhealthy. They don't want you to have healthy food. They want you fat. So you go to the doctors. And then they can keep pumping money into Medicaid so they can keep robbing it. That's all they've been doing to us. Robbing, lying, and stealing, cheating, killing. We know they do all of that. They do all of that. But that's just here. Rock and Roll Rebel shows gets a little wild. But we're going to give you the truth. That's what we want to give you. We want to give you the truth. And we're just going to keep on pushing along. It's the only way we're going to get the truth out there. And let's pull up a video. I mean, I don't even know. Let's pull up this Fort Knox thing. This Fort Knox thing is crazy. Now, I remember seeing black and whites where they went in to see the gold bars. I can't remember what president wanted to do it, but then they never been audited. And supposedly, I think like in the 1970s, 1972, somewhere around there, a lady was reporting on this. And this lady vanished. Well, she didn't vanish. She accidentally overstepped. She was her hotel room. I guess she was on the balcony. And she thought the balcony went farther. but it didn't, and she ended up falling down the balcony and unaliving herself. But she was reporting on the gold in Fort Knox is missing. They're saying the Rockefeller took the money. You know, they took the money and they robbed it. The Rockefellers are they're an evil family. It seems to be, allegedly, if you look into it. But let's just play this video. This video I thought was wild. It's not that long. It's somewhat entertaining. It's more entertaining than planes landing upside down. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if the John Goodman character showed up, you know what I'm saying? Whiff, right, to get him right. But here's a little thing on the Fort Knox thing. Let's play it. I mean, it's not that long. We're going to pull it up and let it rip. We're going to let it rip and get this thing going, and we'll see what happens here. But this will do some explanations.
Prices immediately began to soar. 9 years later, gold sold for $880 per ounce, 25 times what the gold in Fort Knox was sold for.
One would think that eventually someone in the government would get wind of what was happening and blow the whistle. The largest fortune in the history of the world stolen. Shades of the old James Bond film, Goldfinger. Well, as a matter of fact, Ian Fleming, the author of the James Bond series, was head of the British counterintelligence service, MI5.
Some believe in the intelligence community that he wrote much of his fiction as a warning, as many authors of fiction do.
If the removal of all the good delivery gold from Fort Knox can be viewed as a deliberate raid on the U.S. Treasury, then such an operation might well have been years in the making, namely 40 years. Certainly enough time for Fleming to get wind of it and try to prevent it.
So just how did the story of the Fort Knox gold robbery get out?
It all started with an article in a New York periodical in 1974. The article charged that the Rockefeller family was manipulating the Federal Reserve to sell off Fort Knox gold at bargain basement prices to anonymous European speculators. 3 days later, the anonymous source of the story, Louise Auchincloss Boyer, mysteriously fell to her death from the window of her 10th floor apartment in New York.
Damn.
How would Mrs. Boyer have known of the Rockefeller connection to the Fort Knox gold heist? She was the longtime secretary of Nelson Rockefeller.
For the next 14 years, this man, Ed Durrell, a wealthy Ohio industrialist, devoted himself to a quest for the truth concerning the Fort Knox gold. He wrote thousands of letters to over 1,000 government and banking officials, trying to find out how much gold was really left and where the rest of it had gone.
Edith Roosevelt, the granddaughter of President Teddy Roosevelt, questioned the actions of the government in a March 1975 edition of the New Hampshire Sunday News.
Allegations of missing gold from our Fort Knox vaults are being widely discussed in European financial circles. But what is puzzling is that the administration is not hastening to demonstrate conclusively that there is no cause for concern over our gold treasure, if indeed it is in a position to do so.
Unfortunately, Ed Durrell never did accomplish his primary goal, a full audit of the gold reserves in Fort Knox. It's incredible that the world's greatest treasure has had little accounting or auditing. This gold belonged to the American people, not the Federal Reserve and their foreign owners. One thing is certain, the government could blow all of this speculation away in a few days with a well-publicized audit under the searing lights of media cameras. It has chosen not to do so. One must conclude that they are afraid of the truth such an audit would reveal. What is the government so afraid of? Here's the answer. When President Ronald Reagan took office in 1981, his conservative friends urged him to study the feasibility of returning to a gold standard as the only way to curb government spending. It sounded like a reasonable alternative, So President Reagan appointed a group of men called the Gold Commission to study the situation and report back to Congress. What Reagan's Gold Commission reported back to Congress in 1982 was the following shocking revelation concerning gold. The U.S. Treasury owned no gold at all. All the gold that was left in Fort Knox was now owned by the Federal Reserve, a group of private bankers, as collateral against the national debt. The truth of the matter is that never before has so much money been stolen from the hands of the general public and put into the hands of a small group of private investors, the money changers.
Ooh, the gold is gone. The gold is gone. Why they take all our gold? They took us off the gold standard. They took all our gold. So now what? I'd like to see an audit. I'd like to see a team go in there, but like everybody thinks, the Federal Reserve sounds like it's a government agency, but it's not. It's not a government agency at all. It's the banks. Government's not even in charge of it. They sort of do what they want. They loan money to the government. And I guess we're in whatever they want us to do, they do. If they want interest rates at 10%, they're at 10%. That's why interest rates are so high, because the Fed's worried about inflation. Why are they worried about inflation? Just give us our money. But here we go. So it should be interesting if the Doge team can get in there and audit it and see how much gold's in there. I like a live stream of it. I like to see the gold bars. But I don't know if it'll happen. We're still waiting on a lot of stuff to come out from the Trump administration. We're waiting on Kash Patel. So it should be very interesting. And then I don't know what's going on with this Social Security, too. Like I said, there's Social Security missing, but the Democrats don't seem to care about Social Security missing. You know, they're more worried about other stuff. And it just doesn't make sense. Let's play this little clip here, because I thought this was wild, too. We're just going to try to get you the news out there, but these people are wild. These Democrats, CNN, Mockingbird Media, MSNBC, or horse trash. They are horse trash, and they should not be allowed to broadcast. The FCC should take their license away, because all they do is lie. But they won't. But maybe Trump can help us out a little bit.
There was an Inspector General audit last year that showed over an 8-year period, the Social Security Administration made almost $72 billion in improper payments, a little less than 1% of payments in that time period. Now, the report also says that most of these improper payments were overpayments, not payments to deceased people or people who didn't qualify to receive these payments. At the same time, Jose, this effort by Doge is to go through this agency like every other and try to weed out waste and fraud.
Yeah, I mean, and also $72 billion, and that's without a comprehensive search. I mean, that's significant.
It is significant. But, you know, the Democrats are defending. They are defending the spending, because you got all these unelected officials. You got all these people behind the scenes. And they don't like Trump right now, so they don't like Trump at all. He's signing executive orders, and he's trying to get us back on the right track. Now, we got probably till midterms. We got 4 years of strong. Hopefully we can get a strong midterm, because the Democrats are just going wonky. Hopefully if we can get like 65 red, if we can get the Senate 65, then we can start changing laws. We can, you know what I'm saying? We can change the Constitution. We can get President Trump a third term. Why can't a president have a third term? Get Trump out there. And let's get these taxes down. Let's get these stimmy checks out to help out the people. The people need the stimmy checks. They've been ripping us off. These politicians just lie and lie and lie, and they don't know what to do. And they're worried about taxpayer stuff. Look at these Democrats get on TV. They get on TV, and they start talking nonsense, and I'm glad there's other people here to shut them down.
You're tired of the waste? You want me to fix
But
this?
they didn't vote to have Elon Musk rooting through their data. But my point is something different. My point is, ultimately, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Joe Biden or you're Donald Trump. If people don't feel like you have materially made their lives better, If people don't feel like you got inflation down or costs down, you will pay the price. And the people who pay the price are the Republicans who are up in the midterms.
It was funny that he said, yes, I'm going to cut government, I'm going to cut waste, I'm going to cut fraud, you know what else he said? He was going to cut prices. That hasn't happened. That's not something.
You want that in 4 weeks?
In 3 weeks he could fire 75,000 people. Right?
Do you think it is a legitimate political debating point for the previous administration to have overseen historic inflation over 4 years, and then you to come out and say, 4 weeks, I guess Trump's a failure.
He said on day one, I will lower your grocery prices, and he has not done it. And prices have gone up.
On your point, I agree with you that the ultimate measurement of him will be on whether people feel less economic anxiety. I disagree that he hasn't done anything. A lot of his executive orders were aimed at energy, which is, I think, the fastest thing he can do.
Although energy prices are going up.
Energy regulations. But really, what he does now over the next couple of months with the Congress, I mean, his real agenda will come in the reconciliation bill. Taxes, energy, immigration. I mean, the stuff he really ran on, that's where the real policy rubber hits the road. And he's going to have to get these guys in Congress to go along with him. And they're obviously, working on it right now. But if they cannot get that done, that will be a problem. But I think they'll get there.
By the way,
they're definitely going to get there. They're definitely going to get there. We just need to stop all the bickering. But you know what I'm saying? They're fighting tooth and nail. They're fighting tooth and nail to make sure that the American people just, I guess, prop up all their stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got to prop up all their Democrat stupid stuff. And they got this 60 Minutes should get kicked off TV for lying. They lied with the Kamala interview. They just had an interview talking about a U.S. aid worker was there, but it was a speechwriter for a Democrat. So the media is nothing but lying. They're not going to give you the news. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's chopped up and edited. You got to come to here. You got to come here to find the real news, baby. You got to come here to find the real news. But we're going to get on out of here. It's peace and love, and we'll see you all later, baby.